Good morning everybody, welcome to another video. As you can probably see behind me, I am down in the canal. Come down here for a few hours this morning. It's about 6:30, something like that. So hopefully we've got a couple of hours before the boats start moving and this water starts tanking through. It's lovely and static at the moment. So come down here to perhaps catch some nice hybrids. Who knows, maybe even a nice roach. Could even catch some perch, who knows what. But nice bag of fish or some nice specimens this morning will be lovely. And what I've done is I've grabbed my Cadence CR10 14-foot match number 2. I've got on there a Dower 125M close face reel. I'm just going to use a little Drake Waggler. I've walked up the stretch and I've baited a few spots as I've come along, just with some mashed bread. I've got bread for the hook and I've bought some maggots as well. Right, as we're on limited time, let's get cracking. Pick this spot out first. We'll move around as and when we fancy it, or as and when we're not getting any bites. Now, been a canal, could catch absolutely anything. But a nice roach would be fantastic this morning. I'd like that. Let's check that float. I think we shot it okay for that. Yeah, that's very sensitive. Right, yes, as I say, a nice big roach, some hybrids, talking roach bream hybrids that fight like crazy. That would be fantastic as well. There's even a few chub along this stretch. They're a bit further down, but I did bait up a swim where I caught a chub in the past. Just one. But it is a little bit renowned for chub down there. But we'll try up here for now, and we'll just go for as long as we can before, as I say, before the boats start moving. I've baited about half a dozen spots. Oh, blimey, hang on. Put it in there. Reeds already. All right, let's see that. Let's see what that does. Hopefully we'll get a few bites. I've come down here really because the Avon at the moment is painfully low, painfully clear. It's gin clear and it never really fishes like that. It can be a real struggle. The fish, I mean, it seems like they don't, but it seems like they just disappear. I think they just tuck themselves away under all the cover. The only real prospect of any bites is after dark, which I've not been able to do recently. And can't do this weekend either. So I just thought, I know what I'll do. I'll get up early, we'll go down the canal. Get after a nice roach. Right. Something is just a couple of bubbles by the float. That's promising already. Now I did pop out. I had 2 or 3 hours the other day. With the Avon being like it is, I went at one of the tributaries. I mean, that again is on its knees, absolutely on its knees. But I thought I'd give it a go anyway. I thought it'd be a struggle, but I thought, we'll winkle a chub or two out perhaps. But blimey, I didn't have a single bite off a chub, which I think is the first for up there. They just were not in the slightest bit interested. Not interested at all. In the end, I was sort of alternating between bread and worms. In the end, I switched over to worm in one particular swim. There was a bit of flow, a bit of slack on the inside, and I thought this looks perchy. Well, there's not too many perch in that river. There are a few. So, I had a bit of a go for a perch, and I had a reasonable one, probably, 8 or 10 ounces, something like that, but really hard going. It's the only bite I had, a proper bite. Hopefully we'll put that right today. So there's certainly a few bubbles coming up. My float's not getting knocked about, as you'd perhaps expect. This canal it's about 3 foot deep, so when there's fish of any size in your swim, you generally know about it. Sort of knock into the line and you've got some fish on you. Now there are some bubbles coming up here. There's been a bit of a sort of movement of water as well on the top. We've got a lock not too far to us that way. You can probably hear the bypass running around the sluice. I'll put a little bit of bait in by that as well. Fish may be in that sort of more oxygenated water. I'm going to concentrate on bread for now. May switch over to maggots if we fancy it. Yeah, just fancied a few nice canal roach this morning. Or like I say, some hybrids. Even some big old bream around the place. Just trying to get as close to there as possible. Beautiful. Without going in the foliage. It's cracking. That's worthy of a bite. Not sure we'll get one, but it's worthy of one. Alright, that's a bite. There we go, we're in. Come on, out the way. Out the way, out the way, come out the way. Right, what's this? It's definitely worthy of a bite, that. I think this is probably a hybrid, it's going a bit crazy. Trudging around, look. But yeah, that cast was definitely worthy of a bite. Great stuff, we're in. Early doors. Yeah, it's got to be a hybrid. It's going absolutely crazy. It's off across the canal now. Yeah, looks like it. Did for a second think that was a big roach, but it was going far too crazy to be a big roach. There he is. I do really scrap hybrids. It's wonderful. Yeah, he's mostly bream, but there's some roach in there as well. Cracking. That's a good start. Well, how's about that? That's a cracking start. Wonderful stuff. He fancied a bit of bread for his breakfast. That's cracking. We've been fishing about 5 minutes. Right, we'll keep him down there in the net. Yeah, definitely a mixture, that one. You do get all sorts of everything. I've said this before in videos, but just for those of you who don't know about hybrids, this particular hybrid is a cross between a roach and a bream. And they do fight really well, as you just saw. And like a lot of hybrids of all different species, not just fish, but all different species. And like a lot of hybrids, they are able to breed. Lots of hybrids of different species are sterile. But these fellas can breed, they're fertile. So you have hybrids breeding with hybrids. So they end up not just being a 50-50 mix. You could have a roach bream hybrid breeding with a purebred roach. And obviously the offspring will come out much more roach-like. Well, that's cracking. We've caught, which I think if we'd gone on the Avon, that was more than we would have done. We'll perhaps get over the little marina by my house in the coming days. Little one wants to go again. So I'll take her. I think we'll have a go over there. We'll do a bit of filming this time. Last time I went over there, she didn't really fancy being filmed. It's a lovely, nice slow bite as well. Morning. First time using these floats. They're new to me. Oh, these things. I think they're called Canal Wagglers. I'm not sure, they're like a tapered Waggler, nice and fine at the tip. So you get a nice, delicate presentation, but slightly fatter body at the bottom, so they're quite stable as well. I'm travelling very light this morning, and as you probably see, I'm not even bought a seat with me. I'm just sat on the. Fella's not very happy. I just sat on the the rod bag. But I'm not sure we're going to get any roach here. There are a lot of bubbles coming up out here. Hopefully you can see on the camera. Stacks of bubbles coming up where I put this bait, and over there where I put that bait as well. Put a bit of bait in here and a bit over there. I don't think we're going to do much good on the roach here. In my experience and the experience of people who are much more experienced in roach fishing than me, once the bream and the hybrids move in, they tend to push the roach out. But we'll ride the wave. We'll carry on here while there seems to be some fish here. I'll put that a little bit closer to the bubbles there, a little bit closer to where we fed. All right. It's getting battered about over there, that reed. There's some cloud cover come over. And they are really rattling. Compared to there's not a breath of wind down here. They're rattling through. It's supposed to be very, very windy today and tomorrow. Yeah, that reed stem really got knocked then. Clearly something over there. What's the cast, I would think? We can drop it in near it. Nearish. Bait will drag the float across. God, I'm getting right pig's ear with this. I'm trying to get it quite tight to that far cover. There we go. Not going to sink. Yes. Yeah, trying to get it quite tight in because of, well, we had this one, he was quite tight to that cover over that far side. What I found from a couple of sessions I've had up here in the close season, this bit of cover here, it's quite deep against that cover there. Fish seem to like the extra bit of depth. A lot of the canal, it's like 18 inches deep in the edge. It's the main channel that's at the sort of 3 foot. Whereas this bit seems to be a bit deeper along there. I'll give it another 5 minutes here, I think. I fancy having a go at some of these other spots. I think we'll give it 5 minutes and then we'll have a move. Because there's not a lot going on. It's not like I'm getting bites or, like I say, the float's not getting knocked about. I don't think there's any quantity of fish here. I can always come back anyway. Alright. Blimey, how's it looking? Do you spend a lot of time meerkatting around the canal? That feels like another hybrid whizzing about. Oh, we're certainly on some hybrids here, aren't we? Cracking. Oh, that's it. Looks more like a bream. I don't think it can be the way it's fighting. Blimey. Going crazy. I think it's just a bream. It's going absolutely nuts. Well, blimey. It's a scrap and a half. I think it must be a hybrid. It must be a bit of roach in there, I think. No, it doesn't look like it. It looks like a bream. There he is. Slimy bream stroke skimmer. You see the bottom one, much more roach-like, although there's still plenty of bream in there. Much more roach-like. Cracking. Right, we're getting back in the net. Yeah, I don't think we're going to do much good for roach here if the bream and the hybrids are here, but we'll carry on for a bit, I think. Well, this is great. I'm enjoying this. Can you tell? Wonderful stuff. God, that sun's coming round faster than I thought it would. It's quite good along here because you tend to... The sun rises behind there and stays off the water for a while, but it's coming out, as you probably see in the field over there. Blimey, these fellas are trying to drag the landing net in. I'm keeping these in the net purely because if I put them back, they're just going to scare all the mates. I say we'll give it another 5. Now we've had another fish, but I'm thinking now it's probably time for a move. Oh, it's slimy right up. Don't want to move off fish particularly, but like I say, would be good to have some roach this morning. Well guys, I think I'm probably going to call it a day at that. It's been very odd going this morning. We've had a couple of fish, which is great. I do like coming down the canal, I have to say. It's nice and peaceful. I do like this stretch, quite close to home. I can get here quite quickly. Have a couple of hours down here. We've had perhaps 2.25 hours this morning, something like that. But since those first couple of fish, we tried perhaps 4 or 5 spots since, and I can't buy a bite. The sun did get on the water. I think perhaps that's killed the sport. It's clouded over now, but I still can't buy a bite. I did see some fish roll down in the water below that sluice earlier on. I dropped down there on them, but as I say, can't buy a bite. I nipped out this morning really just to have a couple of hours down here, which we've done, and as I say, we've caught some fish, so not a bad thing. Something tiny just jumped out there, but yeah, since that sun came out and got on the water, absolutely cannot buy a bite, so I think we'll call it a day there. Well, I've enjoyed that. It's been worth getting up. A couple of nice fish, a couple of decent scraps as well for the canal, so that's been great. Now I'm gonna get out again in the next few days. I think we'll try the Avon, perhaps a marina by home. That's usually quite a good bet for some bites. I did promise I'll take my daughter there as well. I think I'll also get over the private stretch that my neighbour lets me fish. It's about 12-13 foot deep in there, so it's usually good for a few bites. The fish do get low in the water when it's nice and clear, like it is at the moment. I say nice and clear, it's terrible for the fishing, but it looks lovely. But yeah, it's not great for the fishing, but in there you can usually get a few bites. And middle of the week, the wind's supposed to die off. It's supposed to be quite windy the next couple of days, and then middle of the week it's going to die off. So perhaps we'll get down and do some waggler fishing down there in the middle of the week. Anyway, for now, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Quite a short one this morning, but we've caught anyway. That's the main thing. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your wonderful support, and I'll see you all again very soon.